The five-element fists are the foundational techniques of Xingyi Quan, and they give rise to all other techniques. Hence, they are referred to classically as the mother fists. The key function of practicing the five-element fists is to develop specific vectors of force. Each individual element focuses on specific vectors of force which are manifested through body mechanics. It is these vectors of force which are applied to and give rise to all other techniques, literally the elements included in all actions. Zuan Quan, or drilling fist, is the second of the five elements. The classic state, the element that drill relates to, is water. It is like a bolt of lightning, and the internal organ it relates to are the kidneys. The reference to lightning describes its speed. Zuan Quan is issued and enters in an instant, leaving the opponent no time to see it or react to it. It enters into the smallest gaps available, much like water does. Zuan Quan's vector of force is namely that of flashing up and forward from below. Power is applied from below and shoots out up and forward at blinding speed. While there are numerous variations of Zuan Quan, in this primer video I shall cover the fundamental details and standard execution within my Hebei line of Xingyi Quan. In general, all methods and variations of Zuan Quan adhere to and implement the principles that I shall present here. Upper body focused practice is performed with a fixed stance. Stand upright with the feet parallel and at shoulder width apart. Extend the left hand ahead and place the right hand on the dantian and push the left shoulder ahead slightly as you would in the santi shi position. Clench both hands to form fists and rotate the left fist inward and turn the fist over so that the fist heart faces down. There is a slight radial flexion of the forearm which tucks the thumb down and in. The left elbow is slightly bent and held lower than the wrist's height. The fist is held between the height of the shoulder and the mouth. Next, drill the right fist up past the solar plexus, drilling up and forward inside the left fist until it arrives at nose height with the ulnar edge of the forearm and the little finger twisted upwards. At the same time, the left fist is pulled down and inwards and tucked tightly into the lower abdomen with the fist heart facing downwards. Continue to practice this slowly, on the spot at first, in order to develop the correct upper body technique. Once you have some proficiency with the movement, you may add speed and power and continue to practice on the spot. The initial turning over of the lead fist should emphasize a strong forward and down bracing power throughout the entire forearm. This will urge the lead arm shoulder forward while urging the rear arm shoulder backwards, which stores or preloads energy for the drilling strike through this twisting of the shoulders and coiling of the waist. Ensure the crown of the head is pressed upwards. Actively press the elbow of the lower hand tightly into the ribs and issue the drilling fist out in a straight line, forwards and upwards, with the elbow fully behind the fist as you strike. The elbow and the fist should travel up the center line of the body. Once you have a basic grasp of this, you will be ready to combine the hand and foot motions. Fixed step Zuan Quan features a single step for each Zuan Quan executed without the initial dianbu or pad step or the final gunbu or following step. Each Zuan Quan you execute features the rear hand coming through with the advance of the rear foot stepping out ahead in a single drilling action. This method is good for beginners prior to moving on to the standard aligned stance Zuan Quan with full stepping. Standing in the left santi shi position, execute the upper body actions for Zuan Quan. Clench both fists and turn over the left fist and draw it down to the lower abdomen as you drill the right fist up and forward out to nose height. As you do this, advance the right foot forward and step through out ahead. landing as your drill arrives at nose height. As the lead foot lands, swivel the rear foot out 45 degrees to form the Santi Shi stance. Continue doing Zuan Quan in this fashion, alternating between left and right. The drill must be completed as the front foot lands, which means that the entire body action must be coordinated with the stepping in an integrated manner. At the apex of each drilling fist, ensure that the tip of the nose, the tip of the front foot's toes, and the tip of the little finger's knuckle of the drilling fist are aligned on a vertical plane. This is in line with the classical saying, 三剑相对, or the three tips are aligned. Zuan Quan consists of one fist doing a forward and upward twisting uppercut while the other fist hooks, presses, and pulls back and down from above. Both fists should exert an equal amount of force. This biomechanical force couple is what makes the torso rotate and drill in a unified manner, creating whole body power. Standard Zuan Quan is executed with a full advancing step. This stepping method was covered in a previous 10-minute primer on footwork, which you may review first. The handwork details explained already in this primer video are to be combined with a full advancing step in an aligned stance or shunbu. From a left Santi Shi position, execute the Zuan Quan handwork actions, and as you turn over and press the upper fist forward, execute a dianbu or pad step with your front leg, and immediately bring the rear foot in parallel to the ground next to the lead foot. Keep the legs bent with the knees together. As your lower hand drills up and forward, stride the rear foot forward and step through as you execute the Zuan Quan drilling out. The drill should be completed as the foot lands ahead, followed by a follow-in step or gunbu with the rear foot. Continue alternating between left and right. Once your timing has improved, you may start stepping through in a single continuous motion as opposed to a staccato rhythm. Focus on all the requirements as you do this. As with each of the 5-element fists, Zuan Quan requires daily repetition and long-term focused practice in order for the correct body mechanics, actions, and force vector to manifest. Focus on developing a strong torquing power, which requires that all the joints throughout the body be at their optimal state regarding position and angle. Couple this with the correct body actions of twisting and coiling in a unified manner, and you will develop a forceful whole body power. Implement the concept of preloading with your actions. The legs and the lower trunk are the root of Zuan Quan's power, and this should transfer up the body to the shoulder, then to the elbow, and finally to the fist in a cumulative manner. This is dependent on the coiling and uncoiling actions of the waist and shoulders. While deeper details regarding Zuan Quan's practice, its variations, and applications should be attained through direct transmission by learning from an authentic teacher, the details covered in this primer video will enable you to begin or correct your practice.